Hi everybody, it's me Liz with 143 Handmade, and I'm going to share with you what I did with one of the offkits from my great-grandmother's flower garden quilt. I created this journal for me to keep track of my quilting journey, and I created some Christmas ornaments. I still haven't added the hangers, but that's what this is what one set looks like. I'm going to do a couple more like this with the buttons. And then some that are just plain that have the, you know, the patterned fabric on them. But this one, I don't know if you can really see it still, but there's no color on this side at all. And so I thought it just looked a little plain. So I added the buttons. I'll be doing a thorough how to, you know, walk through of how I went about doing these. But I just wanted to share that with you. So that's what happened to some of them. I made a hot mat out of some of the more stained and messed up area. I covered both sides and it's completely encased. And I know that some people might feel like that's, you know, kind of silly, you know, why keep it if you're just going to completely cover it up, but I know it's there. But okay, so this is a trifold, and I riveted in these 2 holes up there and lower, so it's actually 4 holes total, two up, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. And I just used fabric scraps to these are fabric scraps from quilts that I have made recently to bind in the pages, the paper pages. The fabric pages I sewed in. You can see a couple of sewing lines there. This trim on the outside cover, this is from my grandmother. She made me a dress with this on it when I was a little girl, and when she passed away, she still had several yards of this left, and that's pretty much the last of it. I have a little bit more, but and on this front I put a little flap. It kind of made me think of a like, you know, a quilt, a bed frame. I don't know why, but this is lace that came from pillowcases that were my grandmother's, and this is again lace, or this is crocheted edging, actually not lace, but still kind of on that same lines, decorative edging from a pillowcase that was my grandparents'. This is fabric from one of the very first quilts that I ever made. I got a really good deal on a full bolt on the internet, and it has taken me this long to finally get down to the last of it. And these fabric pages are just so that way I can, you know, I can add in pieces of quilts that I've made. I can pin fabrics in here of quilts that I'm working on. You know, it just gives me lots of options having these fabric pages. I went ahead and threw the half pages in there because I figured I could always stitch them together if I decide that I want the full pages. So that's the first half of the book, or first third, and then it opens again, and I have these belly bands. This lace is from my great-grandmother, Mary Alice Poole, and my grandmother, it was Wilma Frances Poole, or Carruthers, after she got married. And so yeah, there's 4, 5 generations of my family in this book. This is, you know, and then I just added paper pages so that way I can add notes and I can add tuck spots and whatnot in the junk journal style for, you know, inspiration, and as well as, you know, just documenting what I've already done. But here's what the fabric scraps on the inside look like. They just come up through those, you know, a set of holes on each side, and I just put a knot in it. It really was that simple. I had to work to get the fabric to go through, but I really like the effect. And I really like that these are fabric scraps from quilts that I've just done recently. So I've always wanted to do a maze quilt, so at some point I will be doing that. And I've had this paper in my stash for my junk journals and decided it had to go in here. So some coloring pages just for color inspiration and whatnot. And then it does have a hardback book cover in here, but it just slips in. This is an old textbook from when I homeschooled my kids, actually. So there's a lot of history, you know, being in here, documented in here. And so, and I was going to fill in this information about my quilt, you know, book here. You know, this book is the property of type information. I thought that was cute. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I just figured I could tuck in notebooks and, you know, all kinds of things could be tucked in here. This is just one I made real quick the other day. Some graph paper that I had, and I just sewed it with my sewing machine right down the center and sewed this butterfly on as kind of a cover. My grandmother, on my mom's side, Wilma, she loved butterflies. Butterflies were her favorite thing, so I always think of her when I see butterflies. So thank you for joining me, and I will be back soon with the full tutorial on how I did those Christmas trees. And then also, here's a quick sneak peek for those of you that have hung out with me this long. These are some sunbonnet Sues from the 1930s from my great-grandmother, Mary Alice Poole. And this is one that she hand-basted herself. This was her pattern. This was her mock-up. And if I did not have this, I would not have the courage. I would not have had the courage to go ahead and attempt this. But my kids helped me. We were given all of this fabric and the pattern. And this is her original pattern. And then this is the one that I made out of cardboard, because I didn't want to ruin this one. I didn't want this one because, as you can see, it's fragile. It was already tearing. So you'll see that all of this will be coming up in more detail, but I have 33 of them cut out, and obviously that's too many for one quilt. So there's several Sunbonnet Sue projects in our future. And this is just a little needle book that she had, that she was using to hand base this. So I am very lucky to have that and to get to finish this, and I'm very excited about it, but I'm also very nervous. So this will be something that we nibble at, you know, take it a little at a time. So thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to share more.